Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Profitable Salon Owner, where we get salon owners profitable fast. And we are here courtesy of Vagaro Salon Software. Thank you so much to the Vagaro team for having us on as your business resource. And we actually have a really exciting webinar planned for today, don't we, Catherine?
We do. And all of our webinars, Eileen, are
well,
exciting.
This is very true.
I'm sure if you don't take at least one golden nugget out of each of our webinars, there's something wrong.
Absolutely, because, our combined experience is pretty extensive, and we are very, very service-oriented, and we are absolutely passionate about this industry. So you put those two things together, and I think that there's some real value in what we have to present to you. And today is one of our favorite topics.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and we like to call it the 3 R's to profit. And what are they?
Referrals,
rebooking,
and retail. And being Scottish, I love the 3 R's because I like to roll my R's.
Yes. And here's the thing, is that these 3 R's are the foundation of our business. If we can nail these 3 R's, there's no reason why we can't be successful, because this is where all our profits are living. This is where our revenues come from. These are where our profits sit. So this is extremely important to understand these 3 basic principles of our business: referrals, rebooking, and retail.
And the interesting thing is the stats tell us we are not good at any one of those 3.
And it continues to surprise me, especially when not only you and I, but so many coaches and salon consultants are out there preaching the word, and yet we aren't hearing what it is. And yet if I tell you that if you follow these secrets, because obviously there's secrets because nobody's sharing it around, but if you follow these secrets, you cannot help but make money and be successful.
Yeah. The biggest thing is for each of these is you have to ask. And that's really hard for a lot of people.
Well, it is.
They do not like to simply ask the question.
That's very true. And we run into that over the years, because in some ways it is part of the selling process, and people are afraid to ask for the order because it's stepping outside their comfort zone. But here's the thing: if you take it in small incremental steps, your comfort zone actually expands, and it gets easier and easier for you to do these 3 simple steps.
Totally.
And they are pretty simple.
They are. If you just learn them and learn to love them, it will become part of what you do every day.
And, and in fact, I think that is the first real clue to Catherine, to the success of these 3 R's, is it's a system, because that's something that we do every day. So I really want you to think, as we go through this, is how you can systemize these 3 R's to become part of your everyday life.
And your everyday language when you're behind your chair, behind the desk, in your
phone,
treatment room,
anywhere. Yeah. Language is key.
Oh, and you love that, don't you?
I do.
All right, moving right along. Referrals.
Oh,
now,
the road to riches paid by referrals.
I really do feel that referrals are the road to riches.
Well, they have to be the road to riches, because, we are a service industry, but we are not the only service industry out there. If you take a look through magazines, through your directories or whatever, you will see tradespeople after tradespeople, professionals after professionals, all of them looking for your business. And the best way to get business is through the referral system.
Yeah. And
because if you have a plumber in and you like them, what do? Someone else says, "Oh, I've run into a problem with my gas or my."
You're going to refer that person.
Exactly, right. Referrals are the roads to riches.
Yeah,
and it also is the least expensive advertising you can do. And I think we're going to cover that, aren't we?
Well, it's word of mouth, totally word of mouth. Alrighty, so referrals are a cost-effective form of advertising, and I don't believe they're free. Because if you're going to ask people to refer you, it can be free. But again, if you want to have a system, we should have a referral program in place. I totally believe that every business should set up a referral program.
And you know what? It is as easy as asking your clients. And at the end of your service, it's so easy to say, Catherine, I have so enjoyed having you as my client today. If you have any friends who are as lovely as you are, would you send them my way? It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We can certainly expand upon that. But imagine if you ask every single person who sits in your chair to refer you. They will. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them will. And the word of mouth, that's that old commercial, which I used to love years and years and years ago. I'll tell two friends and they'll tell two friends and they'll tell two friends, and it goes on and on and on. So talk about from a word of mouth, that is the most cost-effective form of advertising there is.
And referrals really are the highest form of compliment from your customers.
Yes, they are.
It is totally, if they don't like you, they're not going to refer you.
And they're not going to come back either.
Well, sometimes they may come back for a little bit,
but
but they're not really happy. But if they love you, if you go out of your way, they are going to tell people about you. Totally. And the other side of that, referrals are useless unless you follow up and follow through.
Well, everything is about follow-up because as you probably know, if you follow some of our webinars, you know that the money is in the follow-up.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about, well, actually, we're going to do that in the next slide. So hang on to that because when we say the referrals are the gold mine in your business, that's really it. Because if we're not working the system and doing the follow-up from the referrals, we're not using the gold mine system.
Hear, hear.
Right?
Okay, so let's ask you a few questions.
Do you currently have a referral program?
And if you do, how is it working for you?
Well, are you consistent in marketing your referral program? And what is an effective referral program?
So here's what we hear. A lot of times as a salon consultant, we talk to lots of different salon professionals, and we'll ask about a referral program, and they'll say, oh, we tried that
and it didn't work.
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't matter how often you try something, you've got to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, because as soon as you think it's not working,
it's not.
Well, not only that, if you stop, nothing will work. But if you keep pushing through that, it takes time to build things.
It does.
It's not instant. But again, it's a system. You must have a system in place to capture referrals.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what a referral program might look like.
So in most of the businesses that I see, we always try and talk about keeping it simple.
Exactly.
And so the 2020 program, to me, is a simple way to, in our industry, is to offer something to your client who's going to refer someone to you.
Spread the word.
Yeah. And then the other side of that coin is you're going to offer something to the new client coming in so that they have a little bit of a carrot to come in your door.
For sure. Because one of our pet peeves has always been the salons who have sandwich boards outside saying new clients get rewards or whatever, or there's a discount for a new client. Well, what about the existing clients? Why are you referring new clients when your existing clients are the source of your business?
Well, they're your bread and butter.
They're your bread and butter. So this referral program that Catherine's talking about really takes care of that.
Yeah.
Because it rewards the current client for bringing in a new client.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is offering a referral program where you give $20 to any client who refers a new client to you. But we have a card made up, and I always bundle 5 of them together and say, here's $100 in services. All you have to do is refer 5 friends, neighbors, or coworkers. And if they bring this card in, you will receive $20. Not very difficult.
No.
The hardest thing is to consistently do it.
Exactly. So that every single client who comes through your doors is being offered the same program. Now let's just take a look at that from the point of view of money. Now, industry average tells us that it costs approximately $90 to $100 of advertising dollars to bring in a new client. With our system, it actually only costs you $40, $20 for the new client and $20 for the existing client. That's a bargain in this day and age, an absolute bargain to bring in a new client.
And everybody feels rewarded.
Right. We were actually just talking about going to a trade show and the cost of the trade show and how many clients we actually got out of the trade show. And it ended up being like I think it was like $130 per client to bring in someone from the leads when we broke down the cost. That's a huge amount of money. Yes, the name was out there, but from what we could track, it was like $130 per person. So your $40 is extremely well spent.
Absolutely. And I mean, I hear it all the time, and I hear it from stylists and estheticians. Well, it's just giving money away. You have to reframe how you think about it. It's not giving money away. It's being smart about your marketing dollars.
Well, if you take a look at, if you bring in a new client, what is the annual revenues that new client is going to generate? We can't look at it as a one-time only expense. We have to look at it as that $40 is going to turn into anywhere from, say, $6,000 to $2,000 per year, depending on the service, maybe even more, depending on your demographics. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So we have to really look at it as a long-term investment and what your ROI is, your return on investment is.
So if you do not currently have a referral program, I would highly recommend that you look at doing the 2020 program and script it.
Exactly. Make sure that everybody in your environment is using the same language and that they are consistently offering it to every client that walks through your door. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about spa, aesthetics, or salon. It is consistently the use of it that makes the power and the difference in what you're doing. And we need to track it. You need to track that, hey, I've given Catherine 5 cards, et cetera, and when Catherine comes back and maybe she's only got 1 card that she's given up, right? And you say, Catherine, how are you, have you been able to pass on cards? It's another opportunity to chat with your clients about business, right?
Yeah.
And Catherine might say, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I passed on one of your cards to Jane. I think she came in and loved it. Say, well, would you like me to pump your cards up to 5? So you've still got that opportunity to earn $100 because as long as they see it, right?
Yeah.
So it's consistent.
And you have to keep it top of mind.
Exactly.
Consistency. And I've been guilty of it myself. You do it for a while and then it's like, oh, just another thing to do. It drops off. But then it's interesting in my business in Winnipeg, we see the numbers of new clients dropping and we go, oh, okay, we're slacking on our referral program.
Right.
And we need to bump it again.
Exactly. And, worst case scenario, people, if you are going to do a 2020, at least ask every single person who sits in your chair or visits your aesthetic station to please pass your name on.
No, but I think it's nice to give something to say
to reward,
thank you,
right? Yes,
for helping you to build your business.
And believe me, if you're one of these people who has a sandwich board out front that says new clients get a free haircut with their color or whatever, Catherine and I are on the move and we're looking for you. We may be come knocking on your door
and say, and what are you giving your regular clients?
Be afraid.
So moving along.
Sure. Go to next.
It's not working.
All
My
right.
clicker is not working. So testimonials are a big thing these days.
Yes, they are.
But referrals are the best form of testimonial. It's another form of testimonial. And so, when clients are referring other people to you, that is saying that you are doing a good job.
Exactly. Imagine if Catherine tells the world that, Eileen just gave me the best haircut I've ever had. Do you think other people are going to come and see me? You betcha, because that's a personal testimonial.
And we need to build on that. Keep building on that. It's okay. But testimonials are a big thing in this online world that we have.
Yes. And of course, let's just quickly touch on video testimonials, because they are incredibly powerful.
They are.
And nowadays, of course, you can capture a video testimonial with your phone, for goodness sake. There's no excuse why we are not doing a quick video.
Yeah, pocket power. Everybody has a cell phone on them. Everyone has a mobile, and quickly just doing a little video testimonial, they're great.
Is it ever? And there's something about testimonials. And if you're going to do it with a video testimony, write a little caption underneath too, because the words also help capture an audience. And make sure you put them on your website too.
FYI.
Put them everywhere.
All right. Moving along to rebooking.
The heart and soul of our business, Catherine, is the appointment book.
It is. And so many of us are looking out, and the appointment book is not full, or not even, it's very spotty.
Exactly. Now we call it the appointment book because, it's what we grew up with, was the appointment book. But nowadays it's all done online. It's still an appointment book, but it's all done online. And you should be able to pull up your Vagaro program and take a look immediately and see how you are doing. And if it's not completely full, let's talk about how you can change that. And
it was interesting because Aileen said, I don't really understand this picture that's beside the Y. And we will talk about it. It's a fishbowl, and it's somebody putting a little piece of paper in there. Well, it's going to be all about our rebooking contest.
Yeah, well, I actually thought it was a picture of, God handing out an appointment to a beauty salon.
Oh, there you go. All right. So rebooking, let's move on to
just the facts, Jack.
So rebooked clients come in on average 2 more visits per year.
Now that's an incredibly powerful statement, right?
Especially these days, because clients push their appointments longer than they ever have before.
Exactly.
I mean, when I first started, we would see clients on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And sometimes more than once a week.
Exactly.
And then it went to every month. Then it was every 6 weeks.
Then it's every 8 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks.
Exactly. So they're spreading out. So if we can encourage our clients to get 2 more visits a year, if you look at the numbers here, times 100 clients at $60 average, you're looking at $12,000 per year. Well, that's nothing to sneeze at.
And that's without bringing one new client in the door.
That's just with your current clients.
That's making sure that they are rebooked before they leave.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about how easy it is actually to do. And yes, rebook clients are more loyal than floaters. Well, I always call them floaters because I really believe that if you haven't got a client booked into your schedule, then they're not really your clients. Because here's what happens. If you're a busy stylist, that client will phone up and you won't be available, but they want their hair done that day. So guess what? They go down the street to the next salon. And if that salon is savvy, guess what? They will capture them as a rebooker. So if by not rebooking them, you are allowing your clients to float away like a balloon.
Yes, you are, because they are not really yours.
They're not yours until you determine that they're yours.
And it really is guaranteed income. And I've done this exercise in so many different salons where we have looked at the appointment book 6 weeks out and been able to calculate, the number of clients based on their average ticket, how much they can expect to have come in the door that month. And when you have a level of comfort when you see that.
Well, if you can look at your book and see that you're booked 6 weeks out, you can say, oh, there's my mortgage payment or my rent, there's my car payment, there's my bills, there's my food, there's my entertainment. You have a solid future in front of you. That is actually something that you can basically take to the bank. Mm-hmm. But when it's Monday morning and you open up and take a look at your schedule and you've got sporadically booked appointments, you are just relying on fate to send you in clients that may walk in, may drop in. You have now no control over your income or your business. And to me, that sounds so scary. That would freak me out.
Totally. I completely agree with everything you just said. It is, I've been on both sides of that coin.
Yeah. Where
I've looked ahead and gone, oh my God, we are so quiet. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do to change
that? But I mean, it's gets pretty scary when you're right on top of it. Whereas on the other side of the coin, once I learned all about rebooking and how important that was, you know, I can look ahead and go. In fact, I just did it with my team last month. We looked and we saw what we were pre-booked for March, and we are a big space, and we were pre-booked 65%.
That's pretty darn good.
Which was huge. And you know, we can look at that and go,
give a sigh of relief, right?
Yeah, we need to still work to make sure that 35% we get people in. But 65%, that's huge in a space our size.
Exactly. And I mean, you think about the kind of revenue numbers that you have to meet to fulfill all of your fiduciary expenses, right?
Well, our $20,000 a month rent.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's nice to know that you've got people coming in. Imagine looking at that schedule and seeing a sporadic schedule. So it doesn't matter whether you're a 1-person or a 40-person business. If we do not learn these skills of how to create the business acumen, we do not do the business.
Yeah.
And it collapses.
Yeah. So now we're going to tell you how to be successful with pre-booking.
For sure.
And
there's a couple different ways.
There are a couple of different ways, but one of the easiest things to do, and any time that Aileen and I have gone into a salon to do consulting, the first thing we do is implement this particular pre-booking contest.
And one of the reasons that we do that is because, again, going back to what we talked about in the very beginning, people are really afraid to ask people to come back.
Yeah.
So by training them, by starting out with a pre-booking contest, it teaches them the value of the rebooking, and then we can help them script their way to success. So, but let's start out with the contest.
Yeah, the pre-booking contest. It's really simple. Going back to that fishbowl, get yourself a vase, a bowl, a basket, whatever you want, and then offer a contest. And what we do is pre-book your next 2 appointments, and you can enter to win a year of free haircuts.
Wow.
Or a year of free pedicures, depending on what it is that you do. So, and this is for all of your clients, and 1 client will win that year of free haircuts or free pedicures.
Now, how often would you do that draw?
I used to do it every 6 weeks. Yes. Now we do it every 8 weeks, because I want to make sure
on the cycle.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I capture almost all of the clients, you know, that are on a 6 to 8 week cycle.
Right.
So that's what I do now. And honestly, it has been hands down the best way to increase our pre-booking numbers.
And the other thing, not only does it help increase your numbers, but it also, you advertise that, you know, somebody has won this. Mm-hmm. And that's also a huge draw, because all of a sudden now somebody is going, woohoo, I just won a year's services. And do you think that is an exciting moment for someone? Because that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. So not only have you done this rebooking, you've also created this incredible advertising, and again, the testimonials.
Yeah, and you put it up on Facebook, you put it on Insta, you put it wherever you can put it. We started by, you know, taking the winner's picture. We put it up at the front desk right by the next pre-booking contest.
Yes.
And that's how we started. And we built on that slowly. I mean, I think our pre-booking numbers when we first started were something like 20%.
Wow.
And
now we're over 60. Yeah. Isn't that incredible? I mean, and it is. And here's the thing, it's consistency. They run a contest all the time. And a lot of it is also, you're very lucky too, because you have a front end person. So a lot of the times the front end person helps to take care of that, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about scripting your way to success, because of course, as you know, I truly believe that asking for success is really easy. I honestly believe that one of the most dreaded phrases that we can use in the salon or spa is, do you want to rebook? Because it's funny, we usually ask at the end of our appointment, and by that time our clients have actually moved on in their mind. And so more often than not, they say, oh no, I'll book it when I've got time. So there is a real format to actually asking someone to rebook. And a couple of tips here that I want to pass on to you is, first of all, you ask someone to come back before you remove their cape.
We call it the 1,000-pound cape.
Yes.
If you're in the hair industry, we call it the 1,000-pound cape, because when they have that cape on, they are not about to leave your chair.
Exactly. They haven't finished yet. And if they're in the spa, they may have on a spa robe or whatever. The same thing holds true. In their minds, they haven't moved on, right? So I really want you to think carefully about how you would go about asking. Well, I believe that the best way to ask is actually to tell somebody what it is that they need. And it's as simple as saying, Catherine, the blonde that we've put on your hair today is really going to show its regrowth in probably 6 to 8 weeks. And I'd like to get you back in that period so we can take care of it before it really drives you to distraction. Now, that 8 weeks is going to take us to the beginning of May. What works best for you, the beginning or the end of the week?
Oh, the end of the week, Eileen.
And mornings or afternoons?
Afternoons.
Now, I do have an opening at 1, and I have one at 3. Which one will be best for you?
1 would be good.
That's super. All right, and I'm going to make sure that Kathy gets that book for you. So, we're just guiding our clients. We're telling them exactly what it is that they need to do to maintain their style. And it's such a simple process, like short hair, Kath. It's like you're going to notice that your hair will start to lose its style probably in 6 to 8 weeks. And I'd like to get you back in so that we can touch that up and make sure that it doesn't, the cowlick doesn't drive you crazy. Find out what it is that is going to be that secret key to success to keeping your client beautiful. Tell them.
Tell them. Yeah.
Just tell them.
Tell, don't sell.
Tell, don't sell. We'll be talking more about that later too. And the other thing is practice. This isn't going to come easily in the beginning. It's going to not trip off your tongue the way it trips off our tongue because we've done it for years. But if you don't practice, you don't get anywhere. You don't get anywhere. You don't get better at it, and it's really, I find that this is one of the most intimidating things. This and asking for the retail sale are probably the more intimidating things that our service providers face. And it's their own roadblock that it is. It's about that comfort zone. And honestly, the more you practice and the words become familiar, the easier it is. And we talked a little bit about that comfort zone. So you take those inches of the comfort zone and spread them out a little bit. And every time you practice, you get better and better at it until the words become your own. Mm-hmm. And then it's just as simple as that. Yeah. And one of the reasons that I love contests or pre-booking contests in particular is, for some reason, as a service provider, it's okay for us to say, oh, we have this great contest. I don't want you to miss out on it. All you have to do is pre-book your next 2 appointments. If you have to change them, that's okay, but at least we'll have you pre-booked. But it's because you're giving something. They have a chance to win something. And it just makes it way easier for us as service providers to approach our clients. And I think that that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it easier. Exactly. And just train your clients. Train your clients. Thank you so much, Catherine. I had that little bit of a brain freeze. Yes, we'll call it a brain freeze. And we'll call it the other one. It's like anything else. Your clients have to be trained. And this is a way to train your clients because it gets them into that process. And that mode. Yeah. Right. We always have pre-booking contests running. Right. Because I always want to make sure that your clients are coming back. And that's why we are, we've been so successful. We change it up. We don't always do, haircuts for a year, but start with that one and then you can do different things as you go along, Yeah. Give away a a Mediterranean cruise, for goodness sakes. And I'll be right over there rebooking my appointments.
maybe not that rich, but you know, you can do simple things.
For sure. And I mean, I think about how easy it is, for example, you know, both Catherine and I go to the same nail technician and we get our nails done religiously every 3 weeks. And believe me, if we do not rebook our appointments, we do not get in, and all of a sudden we have talons.
Yeah.
You know, so it is so easy when you have created something that somebody needs. It is so easy to do it. And your hair and your face and your feet, all of these things, if they are not taken care of, they fall into disrepair.
That's right. So rebooking.
Well, let's talk about Vagaro and rebooking.
All right, Aileen, off
because
you go.
How to make your system simple.
Yeah. So the thing I love about Vagaro, where I go to get my hair done, she uses Vagaro, and I love to get my text or email confirmations, because then I put it right into my calendar.
It actually just automatically goes into my calendar. It's incredible.
It's great. I have the flexibility to go in and change my appointment online because I sometimes have to do that. I try not to because my girl is booked solid. Yeah. And then it sends me reminders, and I ask for reminders in text and email.
I'm not touching that one, Catherine.
Text and email. Please send me all of it.
Also, they set her alarm clock for her on the morning off.
And then, you know, it asks for you to confirm
that you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's really talk about that, because that is a huge thing. You know, in the olden days, we used to make phone calls to confirm appointments. This is just a reminder that you have an appointment with us on Tuesday at 2:30.
And that's time consuming.
That is extremely time consuming. And of course, that costs us money, because that means that, you know, we either have to pay somebody to make all those phone calls, or, you know, the staff themselves are doing their own phone calls, and it takes away from our productivity.
Time is money.
Time is money.
And what do we have to sell?
We have time to sell. And that is one of the things that is so important to remember, is that is really what we are selling, is we are selling time slots, you know, and we are amongst that profession that sells time slots. I want you to think about some of the other professions that do that. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, chiropractors. There's lots of professions that are out there selling time slots, and take a look at what they do to make sure that their schedules are full.
Well, and lawyers charge you for every minute, even when they're on the phone with you.
How could we do that in our industry per minute? Let's think about that one, Kat.
And the other thing is it really does reduce phone calls. So it improves your productivity.
Always.
You know, because I'm not having to phone Amanda and say, Amanda, I need to change my appointment.
No,
blah, blah, blah. I can go online and see what are available.
And in this day and age of internet mobility, et cetera, everybody is taking, you know, care of themselves like this. We are a self-service in so many ways, and sharing service, right? So it's something that's really easy to do. So we can't say enough about rebooking, and I hope you can see how this can really sew up your future and really change the face of your income.
And one of the things that I have heard, an excuse, I call it an excuse for somebody that didn't want to rebook, is, oh no, you know, I find when you rebook clients 6 weeks out that they don't show up. So this is a way of making sure that they show up, or at least move their appointment.
Well, and that is, you know, and occasionally, you know, I guess the thing that gets to me is we often use those 1 or 2 times as an excuse for the whole.
Yeah.
You are always going to have someone who doesn't show up. There's always going to be that small percentage of people who will continually disappoint you.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. We have to get over that and look at the big picture and realize that the majority of people are not going to stand you up. They want to be there because they love what you do for them. So that's how we have to change the way that we look at that.
Yeah.
We can't allow the small percentage to turn us off.
But I find that that's what people do.
Exactly.
They take the 1%
and they
make
use
it the
that
whole.
as their excuse.
So that's when I say it's an excuse, it's an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, moving right along. So that's how the Vagaro can help you with your rebooking.
The changing face of retail.
And what can you do about it? And this is something we talk about all the time. And I don't care how many times we talk about it, our industry average is still dismal.
We suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know, I guess I get so passionate about this, Kath, is because you know that, you know, like I'm a salesperson. Mm-hmm. And to me, retail is that add-on service, or that add-on, well, it is an add-on service, and that add-on sale that changes everything in our revenues. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden now we can really make money with our retail. We just have to understand how.
We have to understand how. And when we talk about the changing face of retail, we have to understand our competition.
And what's happened. And that's really what Catherine's talking about when she talks about the changing face of retail. Because now we are not only up against just our next door neighbors' salons, we are also up against the manufacturers themselves as they reach out for a wider and wider audience for their products.
Yeah, I mean, we see our products in Target, we see our products in TJ Maxx, Winners in Canada. You know, we see it all over some of the bigger drugstores,
supermarkets, or whatever. But one of the things I really want you to understand too, though, is that the reason this has happened is because professional stylists have really created this. You guys have presented these incredible products to your clients, and now your clients want them. But if they aren't getting them from you, they're getting them someplace else. But you're the ones that have driven the market in the first place, because it's a professional product and clients want professional product.
And the reason that they're going somewhere else, because you haven't asked them or told them what it is they need to use in order to keep the style that you just created for them, or that your amazing skin that you just gave them.
Oh, it's, you know, it's an excuse. It's an excuse, isn't it? Again, well, let's carry on, Catherine, before I get too excited.
So we're going to talk about retail, and this is kind of our what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it's our signature event, won't you say? Because we like to use an acronym when we're talking about retail.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay, so R. We could sing too.
No, don't sing, Eileen.
Maybe I should make up a retail song. Yeah. We'll sing it in the next webinar. All right, R is for retention. Because when you buy a professional product from a salon, there is a subliminal message that makes your clients think of you.
Every time they pick up that bottle of shampoo
in the shower, it will be a flash second, but it's like an instant message. And I want you to think about, for example, a gift you got, say at Christmas or Valentine's Day, and every time you say you put on that scarf or spray that perfume or whatever, it gives you that brief reminder of the person who gave it to you. You know, I have a platter that I got as a wedding present about 25 years ago, and I haven't seen those people since that wedding. But you know, every time I use that platter, I think of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just brief, but it's there. And I want you to understand how incredibly powerful that is, because believe me, if they're using Head and Shoulders, or what's one of the other Tresemme or something like that, they're not going to be thinking of you. Believe me, they're not thinking of you. But if they're using a product that you recommended,
that you put in their hands,
and you recommend it to them specifically for care and styling or health or whatever, they will think of you.
And product sales represent loyalty, and the numbers are pretty staggering when it comes to that. You know, if you sell them one product, if they take one product home, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, Eileen. But
it goes all the way up from, say, 10% all the way up to like over 85%. So if they buy one product, the chances that they will return to you and rebook increase about 10%. When they come back and they buy a second product, your chances of them now becoming your client have increased to like 40-45%. And finally, once they start buying 3 or more products from you, you own them. They belong to you, because the product sales represent loyalty. And this is one of the most incredibly powerful tools that we have. So every time I hear when someone's not selling retail products and recommending retail products to their clients, I think you are not only losing the dollars from your retail sale, you are possibly losing the dollars from your rebooking.
Clients. Yeah, you're losing clients. Okay, so that's the R. Here's the E.
Well, to me, E is an extension of service. Retail is definitely an extension of service.
Absolutely.
For example, if we're taking somebody into the back bar, right, and we are using the shampoos and conditioners, which I am sure we all do, use shampoo and conditioners in the sink, correct? That's an extension of the service, right?
Yeah.
How many of you cut somebody's hair without washing it first? I know there are places out there that actually do that, but it's a horrifying thought for professional stylists. So, that is an extension of service. The fact that you use shampoo and conditioner, the fact that you use styling products or foundation products or finishing products.
If we took all those products away from you, could you recreate what the style that they've just asked you for? Or could you make their skin feel fabulous?
No,
you have to educate. So it's educate right from the moment they come in the door.
Exactly.
What you're using,
why you're using it, and how you use it at home. And we always want to make sure that they go home with the products they need to recreate their style or keep their skin looking fabulous. And again, to going back to what we talked about with rebooking, it's scripting and it's train. And you practice your words, you practice your phrases, you practice your stories.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how all of a sudden comes off the tip of your fingers.
What, why, and the benefit.
You got it.
What, why, and the benefit. And I drilled that into many service providers' heads. What, why, and the benefit. That's all. Don't talk about the weather. Talk about what, why, and the benefit every time you wrap your hand around a product. And even in the facial room, I have to say this because not everybody likes this, but I am a person who likes to know what is being used on me.
Well, for sure.
Some people just want silence, and it's good to ask them that in the beginning. But I like to know everything that's being used on my skin as I go along. So what are you using now?
Well, and I, like to know what people are using on my hair. I always want to know what product it is. I can remember,
it's not a secret.
It's, exactly. Don't keep it. Well, I have to tell you the one story because I think it's a really powerful story because it happened before I got into the beauty business about 25 years ago. And I went and I'd moved cities and I went and saw this stylist and she gave me this cute little short haircut. And then afterwards she picked up this little sort of pot from her counter and rubbed her fingers in it and waved it all through my hair. And I tell you, my cut looked absolutely amazing. And I said, wow, what's that? And as she's screwing the lid back on and putting the puck away, she says, oh, it's hair wax. And now, not knowing the beauty industry, I did not realize that I could buy that product. I thought it was like a professional product that wasn't available to me. Little did I know that this was going to color my world for the next quarter century. And so I didn't buy that product, but I did end up going to the supermarket buying some, I think it was Tame Gel or something like that. Well, I never really got the haircut that I wanted.
Of course
but
you
guess
did.
what? I never went back to that stylist because I couldn't control the hair.
Because you blamed the haircut
on
not the product.
Exactly, right? Exactly. I didn't get it. Well, what's really interesting is I got to tell you, 10 years later, that stylist became a client of mine. And I didn't say anything, but I did teach her how to retail.
So for me, it's all about education. Educate.
Well, and for me, it's all about selling. And selling is all about telling. Because when we talk about educating, it's about telling.
So tell, don't sell.
Tell, don't sell. That's what the T is all about. When we talk about educating clients on the features and benefits, I truly believe, as in rebooking, the worst phrase you can hear in the salon is, do you want to buy some shampoo?
You should never ask that question.
Never. Absolutely not. That is never. Instead, we want to say, and I have to share a product with you because I think it has such a wonderful story. And people buy stories. People buy, they don't necessarily buy what they need. They buy what they want, and people buy stories. And one of my favorite stories was actually from the Paul Mitchell sunflower shampoo, because the story behind it was that the sunflower followed the sun all day long and absorbed all those rays, but never faded color. And so they had some of this extract into that shampoo. Well, what a fabulous story. People love stories. And so when you're talking about the shampoo, you would take people to the back of the back bar, and you would tell them about this incredible feature of the sunflower extract. And guess what? People wanted to take it home because they could understand, they could see that story. They could see how that was, exactly. They could see how that was going to protect their color.
Yeah.
It was powerful. So you're going to explain what it is, why you're using it, and how you use it at home. And you think, okay, well, how are you going to use shampoo at home?
It's really simple. You know, you're just going to put about a quarter size in the palm of your hand, and you're going to emulsify it through your hair. If you need to put a little water on, that's okay to make more lather, but you don't need to use very much. It's very concentrated.
And again, I know it sounds really simple, but I want you to remember, your clients don't work in the beauty industry, so they don't know. And to be able to talk about even shampoo in a simple way, it's amazing how you generate conversation. Because, you know, a lot of people just think you wash your hair, you don't wash your scalp. You know, there's simple things. But if we explain what, why, and how, our opportunity is just, we're telling them what it is that they need to do to keep their hair in beautiful condition.
Yeah, and we're educating them.
And education is what it's all about.
And Eileen, you love this.
Well, I do, because in fact, we were talking earlier about assumptions, weren't we?
We were.
Yes. Well, you know what happens when you make assumptions, right? When you assume,
you make an ass
out of you and me. However, so we never want to make any assumptions about our clients, because here's what we hear in the salon. Oh, my clients couldn't possibly afford that. Well, they've already spent $250 on their hair. They wouldn't want shampoo either. As well as that, they couldn't afford that, could they?
And what do we say? They have made an investment in their hair. They need to protect their investment.
So the thing is that we don't want you to make any assumptions about your clients except for one thing. Assume only one thing, that our clients want what we have to sell.
Absolutely. And that, if we can get over that, we've jumped huge hurdles.
Absolutely.
Our clients absolutely want what we have to sell.
Well, this is you, Catherine, because you have not only been a stylist, you've also been a stage performer. So you know what it's like to inspire others. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Inspire with product.
Oh, like anything else, it's just getting up there, and if we didn't have product, like I go back to, if
we didn't, yes,
if we took everything out,
would we look as gorgeous as we do today?
No, we absolutely must use product. So when you're inspiring with product, you're showing them how to lift their hair, how to put root volume in there. So you're inspiring them to try different looks and create different looks. I do it all the time. Right now I'm in the, you know, my main focus is hair loss, and I work a lot with wigs and hair pieces, and it's just showing people how to change it up, because it doesn't always have to look the same.
Exactly.
And so that's, to me, is inspiring people. And let your products inspire them.
Well, and the other thing I think with inspiring too, Catherine, is the manufacturers themselves. You know, with their creativity, they're always looking for new products to bring into the market, to create new looks, new trends. But I also find that the imagery that they often create is incredibly inspiring. You know, you look at some of the greats, you know, that are out on the stage around the world, and look at what they're bringing to the table. It's incredible. It's amazing. And you share that with your clients.
Guy Tang with his color. And it's amazing. Some of the things that are happening with color now is just
stunning.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about inspiring. And for me, this industry is a very inspirational industry.
It is.
And show people what they can do. just give them a little taste of what they can do. They can change things up. They don't have to be the same. They are going to be inspired if you are inspired.
Well, and that's the thing, because I believe that it behooves us as beauty professionals to make sure that our clients are aware of trends and colors and what's happening in the market, what's new, what's entertaining. Like, it is up to us to find out what are the new colors coming up for spring, because it's going to be different from what's in winter. We have to use these opportunities to assert ourselves as the beauty professional, whether we're in the aesthetics room or in the salon.
Absolutely. And go to education and tell your clients what the education that you've gone to. I just went to an education class in Seattle, 2-day education for the hair loss industry. And I came back and shared it with my clients. And, they were all very interested in what's new, what's going on. And I just find it creates some excitement.
It really does. And looking at some of the new colors that are coming out from some of the manufacturers is incredibly inspiring. I just kind of blows me away. I can hardly wait to get in front of all of our customers and share that with them. It's pretty amazing. And the final letter in our acronym for retail is L. And we call it Learn It and Love It, because one of the things that we find is that clients or professionals don't understand the products that they're using themselves. A new product comes out, a volumizer. Well, okay, whoop-de-doo, another volumizer, just what the world needs. But as we talked about earlier, every product has a story. And, you don't have to know every single ingredient on the list, but you do need to understand that product's story.
And very interesting, because in my business in Winnipeg, the girls just did a client survey, and actually just before the webinar, they sent me the results of the client surveys. And it was so interesting, some of the comments, but one of the comments came back to one of our senior estheticians over and over and over again. And it was all about her knowledge, how knowledgeable she was about the products and how she shared it with the clients. So that is a big thing. So learn it and love it. You don't have to learn every single product you have on your shelf. If you have curly haired clients, learn all about the curly hair products, know them well, and you can become the expert in that.
The manufacturers nowadays, they put out more and more products all the time. And one of the reasons they do is they're looking for real estate on your shelves, right? And that's understandable. But, a lot of the salons we're talking about, say an average of a 6-chair salon, they can't carry all the products that are out there. So what we find is that each stylist has a grouping of, say, 5 to 12 products that they work with on a consistent basis.
Totally.
And those are the products that you need to know inside out and be passionate about. You might want to know a few extras that, are on the periphery of your needs. But if you understand those products, and if you understand, perhaps, if you're working with a particular manufacturer and you understand the manufacturer story, those are all part and parcel of what you want to share with your client. Because each one has a different story.
Yeah, and love your products and share them with your customers. Now, Aileen, you always tell the story of Kara, and when we first started with the hair loss, and Kara coming up with all the products.
Oh yeah,
that
just blew me away, because I was covering the front desk, and we just opened. We'd only been open for about a week or so, right? And of course, I am so used to working in the salon and working with stylists, etc. And Kara does this treatment on one of our first clients, and she comes up with it, and she puts 5 products on the desk, 5. And I looked up at Kara and I said, well, which one is the client going to take? And she says, all of them. Well, I quickly revamped my look on my face, closed my mouth, and quickly rang up that bill for $250 or plus in retail products. Because guess what? The client wanted what we had.
Yeah,
and they understood and believed and had trust in that what Kara was telling them was going to work. And guess what? That client is still coming in today
Totally.
And that is working. So love your product and make sure you share it with your customers. I just can't stress that enough.
And moving right along to
yes,
how can, we're almost out of time. How can Vagaro help you sell more retail?
Well, let's face it. As you probably know, Catherine and I are huge Vagaro fans. So one of the things they do is you keep track of your clients' buying habits and history. And this is incredibly important.
History.
Because I really believe that if you follow your client's retail history, so, they come in, they buy something from you, they come back 8 weeks later. If you check their history and they bought an 8-ounce bottle of shampoo 8 weeks ago, do you think they still have any left? Probably not. So you want to check in with your client to make sure.
How's it working for you?
How's it working for you? And I'm sure you're probably out this month. We've not only got the 8.5-ounce size, but we also have the liters on sale, which is going to work best for you.
I'll take the liter.
There you go. So it's just an unbelievable way to track it, and you must use it. The other thing, of course, it sends out e-blast. You can send out an e-blast in retail sales promotions.
And you should be doing every 6 to 8 weeks a promotion. Have some form of retail promotion, whether it's, like a color shampoo and 50% off the
matching conditioner.
There's lots of different things. It's the same in skincare. Always have some promotion that you are talking about.
Exactly. Because guess what? It's another opportunity, by the way, for you to connect with your clients when they're not in the salon. It's about building another relationship. We could go on. We're almost out of time.
And, you can use marketing graphics or have one custom built for you. Vagaro does custom work, so you can definitely utilize that for them.
Well, Catherine, sadly, we are running out of time, and we have been talking about the 3 R's, which are the foundation of our business: rebooking, retailing, and referrals. It is the most important things that we can do. And if you can stay on top of these 3 foundations, you can't help but make money. And Kath, if you go to the next slide, it will tell you if you have any questions on it, send us a note at info@theprofitablesalonowner.com, and we would be happy to share more information with you. This presentation, by the way, is we will be sending the PDF on to Vagaro. And if you send them an email to support@vagaro.com, another brain freeze, that's support@vagaro.com. They will send you the PDF. And thank you all so much for being part of our Monday morning. And thanks again to Vagaro for having us. We look forward to seeing you next month. Take care, everybody.
Have a great month.
Sell lots.